Theatrephonic presents a special anniversary episode, In the West, written by Emmeline Braefield.
Being a gunslinger in the Wild West ain't easy. Being a female gunslinger in the Wild West is a whole other cactus. But I make it work.
You tell me that every time we meet, Alder. And I'm not arguing that you do a good job. You're the best damn gunslinger I know. That's why I want you to come on back with me.
You sure it's not for other reasons?
Well, maybe one or two.
Sure, Dumpus,
Oh, please. Call me Dumpy.
I'd really rather not. Sheriff, I like it out here. I'm at home on the back of a horse, and on the plains is where I'm safest.
Oh, it's not safe for a little lady like yourself out on the plains.
Who you calling little lady a Yack? I'm quicker out the holster than any of the men I know, and I'm fiercer with an axe, too. Out here, I'm never trapped, and I can take on anyone. Fix me in a town with doors and locks, and I'd be stuck in the voting house before you could say Geeswax.
You considers yourself a proper calamity Jane, don't you? Well, even so, I'll worry about you out here.
You've no need to worry.
I saw the spot of bother you got into a few days ago.
And which particular bother would that be? There seems to be a heap of bother around here these days.
The 3 clean-shaven fellas? They ran out of town 4 days back. They scammed a bunch of locals out of their money by pretending to be preachers. Stole money from the church collection, too.
Oh, those idiots. We crossed paths a little while ago. What of it?
I came across their bodies by the creek yesterday morning. The vultures and coyotes got 'em pretty good, but I could tell it with them.
And what makes you think I had anything to do with it?
Each killed by a single shot to the head. As you said yourself, there ain't no one better with a gun round here than yourself. Well, excepting me, maybe.
Ha!
And there's definitely no one else in these parts who could take out 3 men with a single shot each. You know that I could get you hanged just on that evidence alone. But I don't want to do that. You never harmed a man who didn't attack you first. So why don't you just tell me what happened?
You swear on your life that you ain't gonna haul me off to the Calaboose as soon as I open my Bazoo?
Here, I'll take off my sheriff's badge. Now, we're talking as friends, nothing more.
Well, that's good enough for me. So it would have been about 3 or 4 days ago, so round the night they ran from town, I was setting up my camp by the creek. Probably the other side of the water to where he found their bodies, assuming that the vultures and other critters didn't move them. It were getting close to sundown, and I had my fire with some coyote meat a-cooking, having managed to catch one during my journey here. I was busy a-turning it over in the fire when these 3 gentlemen approached. They were on foot rather than horseback, so I asked if they'd come from your town, and they said yeah. There was a tall one, a short one, and an even shorter one. Howdy, I said, while putting my hand on my gun handle just in case.
Was there anything in particular that made you feel they were dangerous?
Well, aside from them being 3 and me being alone and them having an evil glint in their eyes, no.
All right.
As I was saying, they asked if they could join me at the fire. We're right mighty hungry, lady, says the tall one. And it's getting mighty cold, says the short one. Any chance of something to eat and a seat of the fire, said the even shorter one. Well, I figured that they was trouble, but didn't want to rile them up, so I said I would throw them some sticks I gathered and some meat, and they could stay on their side of the creek.
Well, wise decision.
Well, that's what I figured. I was gonna wait for them to fall asleep and then sneak off, but they didn't want to take my offer. The shortest one said, "Well, that seems like a waste of sticks, lady. Why don't we just come and sit round your fire," says the short one. "We got some whiskey we'd be happy to share," says the tallest one. And by jing, didn't I fancy some bold face right there, so, although I was still on edge, I let 'em come on over. We had a good bit of a chat. They said they knew you, so we exchanged some stories about the best sheriff in these parts. Well, they kept plying me with booze and looking at me close like, wondering if I'm roosted yet. I figure they must have thought that 'cause I'm a woman, that I can't hold my liquor. So I play drunk and a little silly, and eventually pretend to sleep, with one hand on my gun and the other on my axe. Of course, the moment I started snoring, they begin going through my belongings and untying my horse. Oh, I let them get most of the way across the creek before standing and calling, "I think you may have taken something that's not yours, boys." Of course, they turn around, all surprised at being caught. They start to go for their weapons, and that's when I threw my axe at them.
Well, now hang on there. You threw your axe? But none of them had any axe wounds.
Of course not. I missed.
Drunker than you thought?
No, you yak. I missed on purpose, like.
Why would you?
As a distraction, of course. Distraction is the best means of winning a fight, and I didn't know how quick on the draw they'd be. They started laughing at me for being a stupid little girl, at which point I shot them all while they weren't focused. Hoo-wee! The looks on their faces made it all worth it.
I bet the gold you found on them was also very rewarding.
Of course. Except I knew from their leaky mouths that they'd stolen all of it. I'm on my way to your town right now to return it. With a small commission for myself, of course.
Well, ain't that very honest of you, Alder? If you want, you can give me the money now and save yourself the journey.
Well, you see, Sheriff, some mighty interesting things were said by these scalawags whilst they were on the drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, turns out that they were set up to do the job by someone in town. Someone as corrupt as a Wagtail's unmentionables. I'm planning on going back to see if I can find that person and make sure that they see justice.
And do you know who this corrupt person is?
Well, of course I do, Sheriff. Now, why'd you think I was telling you that pointless story? Distraction is the best means of winning a fight. Being a gunslinger in the Wild West ain't easy. Being a female gunslinger in the Wild West is a whole other cactus. But I make it work.
You've been listening to a special anniversary episode, In the West. Written by Emmeline Braefield. Directed by Lydia Kenny. With Pippa Meekings as Alder and Rob Keeves as Sheriff Dumpus. Produced by Cat on a Piano Productions. The anniversary-inspired theme tune was composed and performed by Jackson Pentland. For more information about the Theatrephonic podcast, go to catonapiano.uk/Theatrephonic. Tweet or Instagram us at Theatrephonic, or visit our Facebook page. If you enjoy Theatrephonic and would like to get more content, please consider becoming a patron by going to www.patreon.com/Theatrephonic. Please don't forget to rate and review.
Yeehaw! Do you want to clap? Although we're not syncing, but...
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute. I mean, you can both clap. It'd be funny for the. It'll be the one time that everyone's together.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Haul me off to the Calaboose as soon as I open my bazooka.
Here, I'll take off.
Wondering if I was roosted yet. I figured they must have thought I figured they must have thought 'cause I'm a gal that they can't.
You shot me. Right in the arm.
You shot me.
Oh, great work. Accents are amazing. Cool.
Nice and short.
Yeah. Gets to the point.
Gets to the point very quickly.
You have been listening to a... well, at least someone's entertained by me. Thank you kindly for listening.